I think everything is up and running. Alright, well, hello everyone that is here tonight. I just want to make sure that I can be heard before we start the proceedings. Just don't want me. Yep, I think everything should be running. If anyone in the chat can hear me, please do let me know. And as we see, the first few cars going out on track. Let's just quickly sort out our spectator menu. I want our telemetry. We're going to want our lap data as well. You see people on their out laps. So here we are with Liam in the Aston Martin, going around on his lap, on his out lap. So for those who don't know, this is the F1 2021 Gavra Racing round 6 of the Super League. No, not round 6. What? I don't know what. This is not round 6. This is round 7. This is round 7. Just gotta clarify that. I don't know why it says round 6. But this is round 7 here at Mexico in the Gavra Racing F1 2021 Super League. If this is your first time joining us, make sure to go find our socials. We have Discord, Instagram, and everything you might need. It's good to know that I can be heard out in the chat. Now here we see a fellow commentator of mine, Zexify. If you're watching the Premier Series last week, then you would have known that I was commentating alongside this man. Great individual, and hopefully a good driver out on track. And as he goes on his out lap, we just quickly get that spectator menu out of our faces so we can enjoy the views. It goes down into turn 1. Can be very easy to go wide here. He powers out. And as comes to the end of sector 1, with a tight and twist the first 2 corners of sector 2, then going through the sweeping right-hander to go through probably one of my favourite parts of the track. I'm a big fan of Mexico on the F1 2021 game, one of the tracks that I personally enjoy. As you see Zexify go flying through that sector, as Liam sets the fastest lap of the session with a 1 minute 17.115. Is Zexify potentially on to beat that? He's seeming to be rather quick. Oh, rear end stepped out a bit for Zexify on the end, but will it be quicker? No, he's 5/10 off. And as we see EJM Cool come to the line, what will his lap be? His lap will be 1:16.5. That's a great lap there from EJM to go up. Now let's take a look at one of the Alfa Romeo of Mason. Just started his flyer. as we keep an eye on the timing sheets. And Cass does go P2 in. He's on the provisional front row, still 3/10 off EJM. So who knows what to expect here? And as Liam improves once again to a 16.7, puts himself right between EJM and Cass. Good to see. Good to see. Ooh! Oh! Oh, and that's Mason out of the session. That was a nasty collision with the wall. There's a big crash there for Mason. Parked it right on the exit of that fast sweeping corners of that second sector. Not what he wants. He was seeming to be on a decent lap there. It's a very big crash indeed. So as we watch Cannon now, if we take a look at the current standings, Cannon still P2 in the standings on 75 points, but he's still quite a bit behind EJM, who's on 106 points, I believe that is, and just zoom that in. Yeah, that is 106 points for EJM, proving to be quick on a consistent basis for him to have 106 points. And we have Kev currently on provisional pole on those medium compound tyres on a 16.363, very good lap indeed. And Nosmo will be on the provisional front row with him as we go along with Cannon now, as he flies through that final sector. Heavy braking in that sector. And as he sets his lap. Oh no, he did not set a lap. Bit odd, but I guess he is going again. So, as we still go on with him. Oh, and that was Paishu in the wall. And that was Paishu in the wall at the exit of turn 3. Turn 3. He was in the wall. I don't know what happened there, but that is Paishu out of the session after a big crash. Mexico being a track that many people are prone to struggle with so far this weekend. And as Cannon comes through the final sector now, and as he comes around the final corner, and he's coming in for his lap, he's not setting a lap. Got Star Kicker in the Alfa Romeo, the only one left in the session. But yeah, and here he goes. Here goes Star Kicker on, and he goes P8 with a 117.3, and his Geek Fusion in the Haas. And yeah, we had 2 crashes this session, proving how crucial getting in that practice is. Practice prove. That's why they always say practice makes perfect, because it is crucial that you do practice. Otherwise, you might end up like either Paishu or Mason, and that is in a wall. And well, no one wants to end up in a wall, because you're not going to be winning. if you're in the wall. Fun fact of the day right there. But as we're on board with Geek Fusion going on his lap now. And he comes through sector. He comes to the end of sector 1 to set a 20. He's 2/10 off on his prior lap. As Royal Rumble sets the quickest lap of a 1:16.2. Geek Fusion ran it wide there. Will that lap still be valid? EJM 1:15.0. He's finding pace ever more. And as Geek Fusion improves by a whole 9/10 of a second to put himself P6. I think there might have been something in sector 1, but I don't know where. There's just yellow flags. I think it is. And if we take a look at the standings, just going back to EJM leading Cannon by 31 points. So that means next round, which if I'm not wrong, is Bahrain. If I'm not wrong, I think the next round's Bahrain. So if EJM puts himself, so if EJM wins here, that will put him. That'll push him at least. So yeah, so EJM sitting 31 points clear. If he wins, no, even if it's EJM first and Cannon second, that will still put. I will still put EJM. I think either 38 or 39 points clear. So it's either going to be 37, 38, or 39 points clear, depending on who gets the fastest lap. But even if EJM doesn't finish Bahrain, he will still be crowned world champion. Wait, no, he won't be crowned world champion, because that will then bring Cannon back into the fight to an extent. But all that matters is if EJM wins the next 2 rounds, he will be world champion by the time we leave Bahrain next week. And hopefully I will be there to commentate over that. So Bahrain is and also Bahrain will be a special Grand Prix, as there will be a sprint race hosted around the track. So it means 2 races in one night. Double the races, hopefully double the enjoyment. It would make sense. Yeah, what happened to Star Kick? Well, we're too busy trying to figure out what's going on, what will be going on in the championship. We've got Star Kick out of the session. Don't know what happened to him. But EJM still looking comfy on pole. 7/10. This could be a race where he could dominate, but Kev goes 2/10 up right as I say that. It's all fine and dandy for EJM, but he really can't fumble this late in the season. He doesn't want to fumble this late in the season. And with Cannon currently sitting 4th. And Cannon, I don't know if he is on an in that. Yeah, Cannon and EJM proving to be in a league of their own so far this season. with them, with EGM sitting 22 point, oh, with Cannon I mean sitting 22 points clear of Tutti in third, and Tutti at the moment sitting down in P11. Many people are on Flyers. I believe there are many people on Flyers. Cass in the pit. Now, when I first commentated at Jeddah two rounds ago, Cass was in win contention, but it appears that since that he's kind of fallen out. He's not really bit like I think, if I'm going to be brutally honest, from what I've seen of Cass, this was probably the moment in the season where he probably peaked. Back in Jeddah, where he was competing against Kev, Mitchell and EGM for that win. If I'm not wrong, I think Cass finished 4th on that day with all the penalties being taken into consideration. As we go on board with Royal Rumble. But yeah, so considering the fact that Cannon had a qualifying ban for Jeddah, to put it back to 5th was quite an impressive display from him. So I feel like we might have hope to see him put on a show this weekend. I'm hoping he can, albeit he is still over a second off EJM, which could end up proving to be the difference between a win and P2. EJM Cannon. Now, if I take a look at the stats, Cannon has apparently finished in the top finished in the top 5 at every race this season, which is rather impressive. Finishing in the top 5 at every season is no mean feat. That does take a lot of speed and prowess to be able to do that. But yeah, only one podium, and as we come to the end of qualifying, Kev looking to be on for pole here. But EGM Paul is out on a lap. He's a 10th up on his prior lap. Could he take pole here? We need to get this final set down to a T, and he does take pole by the slightest of margins. But Kev has got the opportunity to put EJM in his place. It'll be his last chance of the weekend. No, it'll be his last chance of qualifying to put him in his place, and he's 400ths down. He's 400ths down at the moment. He needs to find more pace. Because he needs to find at least a 10th worth of pace. A bonus point for pole. Even more important, Kev dragging that Ferrari around, pushing it to its limits. And as Kev comes around the final corner now, can he take pole? Is it gonna be enough? And yes, it is! Oh my god! What a lap! What a lap from Kev! We're gonna be in for some juicy action this weekend. No, this race. I just know it. You gotta give Kev the credit where credit is due. and I think we can all say it is rightfully due. A 1:14.7 puts Kev on pole for this race in Mexico. It was an excellent lap by him. As many people in the chat with very similar views to myself. As we can see, very good lap and an excellent lap in the eyes of some. A very impressive lap by Kevin D to take pole. As we take a look at the grid, as we round out the top, we'll round out the top 10. Kev puts it on pole by less than 0.02 of a second over EJM Cool, who will join him on that front row. Cass found some pace in the latter end to put himself up into P3 with Geek Fusion joining him on the second row. And then we have the Williams of Nuskmo 21 on the taking P5, and Thiago Santos in the Red Bull. Oh, we weren't even done, but oh well, we'll be able to see where they all start by the time that we come to the grids. And as we wait for the formation lap to commence, just need to sit patient and sit tight, and sit back. And as we sit here on, hopefully we don't get any lobby glitches akin to what happened last week in Imola in the Premier Series, where there was a lobby issue and we had to restart the whole lobby. Very much delayed the whole race, and the predicted pit stop strategy powered by AWS is to 2-stop on soft to mediums or soft to hards. So if we get everything back up, we can see 3 choice of tyres for those in the back of the field. As we see only one person starting on the soft compound tyre within that bottom 5 being Mason, while Tutti, Starkeeper, Zexify and Paishu all starting on the medium compound tyres, with Nico Zora 59 starting on the hards, and then the whole top 10 starting on the softs. So yeah, so I am hoping to be able to commentate over the last few races, but if no technical difficulties happen on my end, I should be able to commentate for the final 2 races of the season. In the fact that F1 literally comes, the new F1 2022 game does come out on the, I think it's 1st of July, doesn't help me, because literally on the day after I am going on holiday, so I'm not too sure whether I'll be able to commentate, but that is not important now. We'll get into that. That'll be discussed privately between me and others, because for obvious reasons. And as we go to 5 red lights here in Mexico, and it's lights out and away we go. It's a great start from Cannon in the back. Lovely start. Oh, but he's got a penalty. Oh, it's a drive-through penalty. He jumped that start. And the rundown towards turn 1. Casper still leads from EJM. Oh, and that was someone going off. I think that someone went off. I can't tell who that was, but someone went off. Oh, and it was Cass. I think Cass may have gone off there, but he still retains P3. This is absolute carnage off the line. We've got already 2 penalties handed out in record time. So we need to remember, EJM is brilliant through Sector 2. That's where he needs to find his time. As we look further back on the grid, both Alpines sitting at the back, no crashes off the start. Great start by Mason, who started last, is now in 11th place. Honestly, you've got to rate the start from him. And as Kev now extending his gap to 2 seconds. Oh, and Cannon is coming into service penalty now, so he doesn't plague him later on in the race. I've seen intense powerful P8 going on. Oh, and there's, I think something happened to Paishu. I think Paishu may have had a spin in Sector 3, as he's now, he's still plumped last with Cannon making that stop. But I don't know if I don't think he changed tyres. I think he was just serving that penalty now, so he didn't have to do it later. No, it was a drive-through. What am I saying? It was a drive-through. But as we can see, Kev managing to keep EJM at arm's length, seeing just under. Seeing just within that 1 second mark. You can see gaps starting to form. We've just seen an intense battle for P8 now going on between Royal Rumble, Thiago Santos and Mason. Or maybe we'll join the fray as Royal Rumble gets a penalty. Thiago Santos going for the move down into turn 1. He's gone to the outside. Is he going to go for the send? Oh, he's gone for it round the outside. And that puts Thiago Santos up into P8. And Mason in the points once more. Mason has scored 46 points this season. So he has proven that he is capable of scoring points. But he just needs to try and get himself a lot closer. As we can see, the gap, Cannon is tearing down that gap at a rate of knots. It was around 11 seconds, if my memory serves me correctly, and he's now torn that down to about just under 7 seconds. Proving that Cannon is truly worthy of being P2 in this championship, proving to have almighty pace. But now Casper pushes himself to 1.2 seconds clear of EJM. But now we've got Geek Fusion going for the move on Cass, and he's got the move done going down to turn 1. But will Cass be able to strike back with DRS? And Royal Rumble dropping back to now in P11. Not good for him at all. But the scrap for P3 not over yet. It appears as it stands. Oh, and Cass gets another penalty. Not looking good for him at all. Oh, and Geek Fusion also gets a penalty. I think we might end up seeing penalties galore here. And as we look back, Noxmo trying to get the move done, but just couldn't get it done. And as we go on board with Noxmo, we're going to go on an onboard lap with him. He's amidst the intense battle at the moment as we see Thiago Santos and Mason moving up the order. He had to compromise his exit there to try and give himself the best line. He to try and make sure he doesn't make contact with Cass, but he did gain back a bit under the braking. Still an intense battle for P3. Noxmo the only one to not get a penalty. And Starker gets a penalty for multiple warnings. It's a tantalising battle we're watching unfold here. Penalties galore, oh my. So many penalties being handed out left, right and centre. And Noxmo deploying all the RS in the world. He's going to go down the inside of Cass. Can he keep it going? Can he keep the move alive? No, he can't. Well, Cass runs out massively wide. As we look further up, going on board with EJM, who's managed to close down the gap to Casper. Now dragging him back to where he wants him to be. We've seen some good battles throughout the field so far. We've got battle for third and battle for the lead. It's going to being a really back and forward race. Oh! Go on board with Starkey. Oh, and that is. Oh, and that is Adidas out of the race. That's Adidas in the wall. As we saw that from Cannon's point of view. And that is Adidas out of the race. And there are yellow flags out. But will I be enough to warrant a safety car? It doesn't seem to warrant a safety car. But Adidas is out of the race. Unsurprisingly, no safety car, as it was in a very high-speed section off the track. I was shocked there wasn't a penalty, as we've seen Zexify get a penalty, now Liam getting penalties. People struggling to find a suitable line that does not involve them going over the track limits, albeit most likely by accident. And Geek Fusion gets back ahead as we take a look at what's going on behind. Oh! Oh, and that was a spin from Noxmo. Oh, and that was a spin from Nostro on the final corner. Not good for him at all. As now Cass goes back up into the podium places. And Cass will have DRS to push himself further away from Geek Fusion. Oh, Geek Fusion really getting all over the curbs here, but it has cost him. Also, applying reset to track means disqualification from the race. Oh! And that's Thiago Santos in the wall. Oh, and the safety car is out. As it's the same place where Adidas crashed out not too long ago. And as we see people coming out of the pits. I think everyone is making a stop. And Paishu gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And I think there's only two people that haven't stopped, those being Cannon and Nico Zora. To be honest, I think Cannon could potentially bag himself a good result here. Not very much we can do under the safety car apart from sit tight and let everything just go as we hope. People trying to get heat into their tyres, and many people boxed early for that two-stop. Well, the question is, will it pay off for them? And Thiago Santos has officially left the session after his crash at the exact same point as Adidas. So not good for Thiago. He was in a very good position, but he really didn't help himself. Oh! Hoy! That was very close from Kev. Nearly put it in the wall. Nearly pulled a George Russell at Imola 2020. Nearly went horribly wrong for him. Very close to the wall. And safety car will be in this lap. And as we take ourselves off the onboards, and I think we've spent enough time on them. And as we resume racing, oh! Oh! And that was EJM! He absolutely lost it. Now he's got Zexify alongside him. And as Zexify has gone ahead, EJM has gone from second to 10th. I don't know what happened there. I think he may have had a bit of a spin of sorts. But that is not good for him. He needs to start pushing his way up the grid now. But considering the fact he's still got plenty of time to do it. That was not the restart that EJM would have wanted at all. And I think that may have also had something to do with Cass. As Cass also now down the order. As he goes for a move on Nico Zora. He's alongside. Can he get ahead? Yes, he can. But EJM on the back of a long pack extending to 7th. EJM trying anything he can to get back into this fight. And as he goes down on the inside of Zexify, will it stick? Oh, and they bashed wheels. Zexify got on the curves and and there was contact made between the pair of them. But I think they're both still fit to race. But now, the man who EJM really needs to finish in front of, he's got the run on Cannon that he needs, but he's not going to go for the move. He's going to leave it till the DRS or the main straight. And speaking of DRS, it has been enabled after that safety car. As you can see, is he ahead? He's just absolutely gunning it down towards turn 1. Will EJM go for the move? Is he going to go for it? No, he's not. He needs to get in front of Cannon fast. Because Cannon sits outside that 1 second gap needed. But he might be able to put himself back into it. As we see in front, just trying to get a move done. And as we said, EJM and Cannon are going at it right now. But EJM gets the move done and he's up into 8th. Now he needs to close down on the 2 in front. And then he's got a 5.9 second gap to clear. Within about 23 laps. He's got lots of time on his hands. Oh, there's yellow flags in sector 3 as Mason is now up into P2. And Kev still leading the way, ever extending that gap. But Cannon struggling now, as now Paishu gets ahead. I think that tyre wear is finally starting to kick in for Cannon, as he now gets overtaken by Zexify. He's sitting on 13 lap old tyres. It's not looking well for him. And as we look on Nosco, versus Royal Rumble. Oh, and there's yellow flags in Sector 2. Oh, and that's Liam in the wall. And I think Geek Fusion, I think he hasn't got a front wing. He hasn't got a front wing. I think there may have been contact between the two of them. And now he's got no front wing. And Geek Fusion has gotten a penalty. But now Liam's just holding them up. As Mason gets a 3-second penalty as he comes into the pits. As Paishu also makes his way into the pits. Oh, and there's another safety car. I don't know what has happened to warrant another safety car. Oh, and this has all unfolded by EJM up into P4 now. He's trying to recover to the best of his ability so far. Yeah, it does not help Kev. Kev had a mega lead before the safety car came out, but now that has been reduced to atoms. So someone smashed into Liam from behind. I believe it may have been Geek Fusion, as Geek Fusion also had damage. So I think there may have been a collision between both Liam and Geek Fusion. Tootsie Boy could very easily go to the end on these hard compound tyres. With 20 laps to go, he could be on for a good result here. And to be honest, I can't blame him. But then again, some may also say Star Kicker is in a good position. He's in almost identical. He's in an identical situation. He's in an identical situation as he's in an identical situation as Tutti in terms of tyres. They're both on 6-lap old mediums, and they will probably go to the end. I would be highly shocked if they don't. But as Kev brings another safety car to an end, and there's a little bit of preemptive overtaking going on. And as we get underway after the safety car restart, Kev gets a lovely restart, probably the best restart he could have possibly hoped for. As Cass gets ahead of Paishu, as we see in the background. Royal Rumble got ever so close. Oh, and that's Geek Fusion. Geek Fusion is out of the race, and there was a bit of front wing from an unknown car that came flying off there. Geek Fusion. Oh, it was going so well for him. Until the collision with Liam. And now this. It's all unfolded for him. Well, the race was going so cleanly. And now all hell has broken loose. One man we do want to be keeping an eye on is EJM. For how long can Tutty Boy hold EJM at bay? He's now deploying all the RS in the world down the main straight. Is he fully ahead? And yes, he is. Is Tutty going to fight this back? No, he's not. And as Nosmo comes into the pits, yeah, Tutty Boy probably doesn't even need to concede position. And I know there's more yellow flags in sector 3. I don't know where these yellow flags in sector 3. I think these yellow. Oh, and Nosmo's out. Nosmo is out of the race. And he retired in the pits. Now EJM sees focus on closing down that gap to Royal Rumble. Out of everyone in the top 5, it's probably in the worst position, as he's on he's on 9 lap old soft. That's not good for him. That means he will need to make another stop come by the end of the race. So hopefully we can see Tutty Boy get back on the podium. And as we look back, Paishu getting ahead of Star Tripper. EJM a lot closer to Royal now, but the gap between Royal and Kev is extending by the lap. So Kev really needs to just keep pushing if he wants to potentially secure this win, as EJM is trying ever so hard to keep up with Royal, and he's doing it. He's doing that exquisitely as he gets a DRS. Now Royal with nothing to protect himself. He's just playing all the ERS in the world, and he's cleared the Aston Martin before they've made it down into turn 1, and he will get more DRS to try and close down that gap. As we look back, there's not really much to go on about, but Cannon struggling. Cannon struggling for pace, but I think he's probably going to take these tyres to the end, is my assumption. But we might potentially end up seeing people like Kev, EGM, Royal, Zexify eventually make stops, because doing another 16 laps on those mediums might not be the way to go, and that could put people like Tutty, Cass and Liam in very fortunate positions, and maybe even Star Kicker. But we can potentially see the hards proving to be better in that long term. And then Sexify gets ahead of Tutti to take P4. After a pretty mediocre qualifying from Sexify to pull it back up to P4. Been an impressive showing from my fellow commentator. As we look back now, Mason on those 5-lap-old mediums is probably going to end up getting ahead of Tutti. He might be able to hold on, and as Cannon gets a penalty for multiple warnings. Oh, and there's yellow flags. Oh, and that's Nico Zora in the wall, but he's kept the car going, so he will have to nurse that back to the pits. He's going to struggle to keep that thing on track as EGM gets a penalty. That might just pull him out of a potential victory. And like I was saying, Mason does get ahead of Tutti, as I was thinking about earlier. That fast-flowing S-like section getting lots of victims this weekend. Is really proved to be a death trap for many. As we see Cass run it wide, and I think there is Nico Zora coming out of the pits. And as we see Kev coming through the final sector, the sheer size of the gaps forming. Tutti Boy in a good position, P6. He probably will go to the end on these tyres. He's doing another 13 laps. Just let's hope that the McLaren driver can secure a podium. In fact, most of the people in front of him will have to make stops. Maybe the only one that might not will be Mason. But we'll see how this all unfolds. There's Nico Zora. Not for only 2 people on the field yet to receive penalties. Tutti and Kev. All seems to be going well for those two. A clean race, to say the least. And there's Kev still ever increasing his gap on EJM. As EJM struggles to keep up. And then we have the everlasting scrap for the podium, and as Cass gets walloped with a penalty. And like I said, people pitting now. Royal entering the pits. He's the only one in the field left on that soft compound tyre. He could have probably used that safety car to his advantage, but now he's going to go. He's probably going to go to the end on these on these medium compound tyres. I mean, this will probably be his final stop of the race, but we can probably expect a few more stops to follow. We can probably expect the top 3 to most likely box, as I'm not too sure whether they can push these tyres to the end. As you see a little bit of a squirm there from Kev, truly showing the tyre wear. Oh, and that's Sexify! Oh, I knew it was coming. The tyre wear got to him. Kev has been saying he doesn't like this track, he doesn't like Mexico. Can he be trusted? And there's people now using this opportunity now to box. Tutti's staying out. Surprising many people staying out. Kev comes into box. And then EJM comes into box. And I think Paishi had a bit of a spin there. Yeah, the tyre wear did get to Zexify. It wasn't a puncture, but it was the tyre wear that did get to him. He did get caught out by the tyre wear. As we can see, not much time lost under the safety car. The question is, can Tutti hold on as Kev now gets in front of Cass? As the EGM has got a gap and a half to close, as Cannon versus Paishu. Paishu raging on in the background. As we're entering the final 10 laps of the race, Royal Rumble gets slapped with some penalties. Mason still leads the way. Now Tutti has got Kev for company. Oh, and Tutti is boxing. Tutti is coming in for a stop. I think he's had enough of those hard compound tyres. They were just dragging him down. Now, can Tutti make these soft compound tyres work? As I doubt many more people will continue on if Tutti, who was on the same amount, probably on similar levels of wear to Star Kicker, and if he's boxed, then I don't really have hope. Oh, and that's Cannon. Oh, and that's Cannon! It's all unfolded for Cannon. I think the only reason why Tutti pit is probably due to tyre wear and maybe the fear of potentially succumbing to the same fate as the likes of Zexify and Cannon. I don't think it's a risk he wants to take, as see many more of those medium runners, many more of those hard compound runners coming in. Tutti now using his to his advantage to climb his way back up the order. Oh, and it is a safety car. This may have played into Tutti's hands almost brilliantly, as that now puts him in a very good position as he's on fresh softs with a safety car restart, which will commence, and that safety car restart will commence the final stretch of the race, the last 6 laps. Now, as we see EJM and Kev on equal footing. There's only 4 people not on the soft compound tyres. Mason, Liam, Royal and Nico Zora all not on the soft compound tyres. And as we see Mason making his stop now. As now that put Kev, that now puts Kev and EJM in first and second. But EJM has got that penalty, and we have to remember that. So time now is... Oh, the Aston Martin boys, the Aston Martin boys should probably pit, because I think all we're going to see is Liam and Royal drop down the order to the point where they're slap bang last. But as I was saying, time now in the UK is 21:13, so we can probably expect this race to be wrapped up by about 20 past. The chat backing Tutti for a podium. But he has got 2 Aston Martins to clear as the safety car is in this lap. He's got 2 Aston Martins in front of him to clear. Can he make it work as they're all just bunching up the order now? Oh, and it's a great restart for Tutti as he tucks into the slipstream. Oh, it's a great restart as he defends the inside. He's alongside, and it's Tutti on for a podium. Tutti squeezes his way up into P4. It's now just a straight drag race. We just saw them go 3 abreast. I think that may have been Paishu going for the balls to the wall moves. So we can already see Liam dropping down the order now. And Starkinger does get another penalty. And as we go on board with Mason gets out of Baishu. Has he got the move done? I believe he has. As we can see, Liam has really put himself in a position on which he can't really get himself out of now. He's on 15 lap old tyres. But if Tutti can keep himself within 3 seconds of Cass, it could be a podium, and it's Paishu. Paishu is out of the race, And it's a virtual safety car. Will it go to a full? And that has allowed Tutti to give himself more time. That's giving him more time now. Oh, and Liam! Oh, and that is Liam out of the race. But now, all that Tutti has to do is keep himself within 3 seconds of all that Tutti has to do is to keep himself within 3 seconds of EGM, but he's in a scrap with Cass right now. And he won't get that second bite of DRS, but he's going to. No, there was no DRS that lap, so he'll get DRS if he can stick with him. He should be able to. With Cass fighting. Yeah, Cass. Really holding up Tutti here, because I feel like Tutti can keep himself within 2.5 seconds. I think Tutti can keep himself within 3 seconds of EGM to secure himself that podium. But he just needs to find the pace, as EGM is within that 1 second of Kev. Oh god. Well, that was a nasty voice crack there. Yeah, Tutti just has to follow. But if he can prove on pace that he can get that podium, then I think he'll be very much happy with that, as Cass runs it wide there. But we can say it is going to be at least P3 for Tutti here in so yeah, so we can expect Tutti to at least get a P3 if he can hold on. And as Mason gets ahead of Tutti, and yeah, there is a battle for first, but we have to keep in consideration that EGM has got a penalty. But I think we really do have to keep an eye on Tutti, as he is really having to keep up the fighting. But EGM starting to fall back now. He's going to need that DRS to reel himself back in. keep our focuses on 2nd and 5th. And if we take a look at the penalties, I think we can say Tutti is guaranteed a podium. Now EJM is going for the move round the outside, but he's just not there. Not where he didn't place the car where he needs it to be placed. As this is very much the final lap of the race. And as they come through the final corners now, Kev has led from start to finish. He has proven dominance here in Mexico. Kev wins in Mexico. And as we look back now to Tutti, who could be on for a podium here, and it is. It's P3 for Tutti here. It's a great result for the McLaren driver, the sole McLaren driver this weekend, or well, this evening. Impressive displays across the board, primarily from Tutti and Kev, to be the only two drivers to not get penalised in that race. Mason takes driver of the day. It was a great performance from him. And as we go to the podium now, Kev takes that top spot with thine utmost pride. And as the champagne comes out, I think we can hopefully say that this will be a Mexico Grand Prix that will remain in the memories of not only Tutti, but also Kev. But that brings an end to this Grand Prix and this round here in Mexico for the Gavra Racing F1 2021 Premier Series. I hope you have enjoyed your stays, and I hope to see you all next weekend, or next Tuesday, I mean, in Bahrain. Good night.